Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a quick review of the e.l.f. Kabuki brush. I am in love with this. I did my entire face with it. It looks pretty damn flawless, I have to say myself. Like, it makes it look airbrushed and absolutely amazing. So if you want to see how I got this look and chit chat about the product, then keep watching. So this is the packaging of the product. As you can see, the box is pretty beat up because I have had this product for a while. Like, this review is so long overdue, but I have never used it to put on my foundation, and that is what it's supposed to be for. I've just used it to like brush away the bake or whatever. If you haven't seen my baking video, I'll link it up here, but this is a brush that I used for that, and that is the one and only time I have ever actually used it. So I'm really excited to get into this. On the back of the box, it has the name Kabuki brush. It says that it creates an airbrush like finish used to apply a wide range of makeup, including mineral makeup, loose powder, bronzer, blush, highlighter for the skin. Can be used with dry or wet products. So that's pretty comforting because I have seen that it does well with powder. So I want to see how well it does with my liquid foundation. I know a lot of people use this as their all over powder, like to lay down their foundation, but it doesn't really say that you're supposed to actually use that. So directions say dip brush into powder and gently tap off any excess. Gently buff in a circular motion all over the face. Apply additionally in areas if fuller coverage is desired. So that's kind of weird because I really wanted to test this as a foundation brush, but apparently it's not even being marketed as a foundation brush, but I have had good things. So I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and I was going to go with my holy grail, which is at the moment, because I no longer have my Max Factor temporarily, it is the Revlon Color Stay, because that foundation always performs so well. But I have had an issue with this one where if I put too much product on my face at one time, it actually looks completely yellow. It looks like it's completely wrong for my skin until I buff it in and really press it in, and then I can get it looking a bit more natural. So what I want to test with this brush is how well it does the buffing. This is obviously a buffing brush, not a stippling brush. Actually, that doesn't feel too bad, so I'm not even mad at that, you know? We'll see. We'll just see how well it works. But to begin this review, I have to say it is so soft. I literally would just sit around and do this with my face. I'm not even, like, using the brush. I'm just rubbing my face with it because it's so freaking soft. And the reason I'm not going to use a sponge is because I want to see the full face effect. I don't really want to see half and just compare it to... Because we know the sponge works amazingly and it sucks up product and whatever. This is apparently a very low product consuming product. One thing that I do love about this, look at that, the flat bottom. It can actually sit on its own, and I just realized this as I was going to put it down. It can sit on its own, which is amazing. I mean, it's terrible for drying because then you are tempted to just put it this way, but if you let the water get down to the glue, it will loosen the bristles and your brush won't last as long. So don't do that. But just for basic storage after it is dried, it's amazing. So I'm just going to go in with what has become... That is a lot more than I meant to go in with. Good thing I just washed my hands, so I can't just dip it right back. I'm trying to get the equivalent of one pump because this doesn't have a pump, and that makes it really, really tricky, which is why I can end up going overboard with it sometimes. I also don't have any primer on my face because I don't want anything to affect the performance of the brush. Like, I don't want it to be that, oh, this foundation goes onto that primer very difficultly or something, if that's even a word. So I just don't want anything external to affect the performance. So I'm just gonna dot this all over. This is working surprisingly well. Because, you know, my issue has been, I've been trying to figure out how the hell I use a brush this round on my face. But you just puff, like, stipple it in like any other brush, and it actually works really, really well. Though my concern is that if I just stipple it from like holding onto the base, it will spread out too wide and more product will get like lost inside the bristles. So I've seen on videos people holding it a bit tighter and then like stippling it in. So I think that's what I'm going to do to make sure the product doesn't go beyond the black part of the bristle. So I'm going to pause again and say that, oh my gosh, this brush is so soft. It is legitimately amazing. It's amazing. Okay, it's amazing when you do this. It's amazing when you do this. It's freaking awesome. I don't even know what else to say. It's freaking awesome. It's spreading out the product really, really well as well. And you know what I love? Like, look at this. It just shapes itself to my nose. I don't have to like worry about it going into the wrong places or whatever. It just shapes itself to my nose. I love that. And it's done a really good job at pushing in my foundation because I am beating my face and it's actually going in really really easily. Like, do you see how natural this looks? Because now my face matches my neck, but this foundation can have a tendency of looking a little too light on me at first, you know. So as I am buffing it in, it's getting soaked in and it's drying and it's just making it look all natural, and I love it. I really really love it. You know, one thing that I do like to do in these videos is to try to do a full face with just the one brush. So since it is a very malleable brush, I can even like press it down and turn it into a fan situation. I do feel like if a brush doesn't have more than one purpose, then there's no reason to have it, you know? So it's done amazingly well at foundation, which is not what it was supposed to be doing. So I think what I will start with doing is spot concealing using the foundation. So I'm just going to take a little bit off the top and come here because I did have a breakout a few weeks ago and I'm still healing from that. So I'm just going to cover whatever spots are there. And it's done a really good job. Oh my goodness. Even layering on top. You know, there's some brushes that just take off the bottom product instead of putting more on. This one is doing really, really well. And also, one reason I really wanted to do this video is because I haven't really seen someone sit down and do an in-depth review of this brush. I know it's old, it's in no way new, but it still works and it's just $6. It's freaking amazing. So if you can get this, so far, I say get it. Now I'm going to go in with my Black Opal finishing powder, really spreading my brush out. This is the time that I think the width of the brush is really coming in handy because then I can actually pick up product and then just spread it out. And this is so easy with powder because you know there's no real buffing involved. So I just touch it and I'm done. Next, I'm going to do a contour, and I don't really think I want to set this brush up to fail. So I'm just going to go in with a powder contour as opposed to a cream one because I don't know how well it would pick up the creams. And I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Kit and it is pretty dry. So I don't really see that working out with this brush. But I do have her powder highlight and contours, so I am going to use those, and I'm just going to get my brush and tap it in. This powder is quite light, so I don't really like to go in with a heavy hand on my skin, but I'm just going to use this and try to sort of get it in place. Like I said, I'm going to pinch it, but not into a complete, not into a complete fan, but into like a thick fan, you know? Sort of like the Becca brush. I don't know what it's called. The highlighter brush or something. Can you see the difference? It's actually laying down the product really, really well. I mean, there is a lot of fallout in this palette. And usually I use a smaller brush, so I've never noticed that before. But I guess just because of the size of it, it's unavoidable. But so far, I am very impressed with how it's taking up this product and laying it down. And you know, because it's so big, it's laying it down as it buffs it. So there's really very little work to be done by me after I'm done laying it down with this brush, which is amazing. I'm just trying to fan that out even more. See, like that? Oh, can you see? I'm sorry I keep going off of camera, off the frame, but I'm just going to fan it out like that and then go into my product. Oof. It's picked up quite a bit, so hopefully it goes in right. That is quite a bit of product. So I'm not going to go in for any more because I can see it's picked up quite the amount. Now I'm just going to focus on buffing that upwards and into my skin. And I'm already done. Look at that. I mean, does my contour look like a crazy slap on the face? Let's see this side because I can't really see, like my monitor is this way, so I can't really see when I face this way. But I feel like it's come a little too far, but that's more my fault than the brush's fault. But yeah, oh my goodness. It's done a really good job. It's diffused it so beautifully. And if you're like me and you just get lazy about like holding it flat, you can just take it as it is and just push it upwards on your skin. Because your contour is supposed to go up So this is actually really working out. Oh my goodness. The next challenge is from my elf twins. It's actually family. Which is weird. I just realized that right now. But I don't even know what I've picked up. So let's see. This is the highlighter palette. Okay. So we are going to do a little bit of strobing. I'm not even going to fan it out this time. I'm just going to pick it up with the side of the product. And I can already tell you, with this highlighter, this is way too much product. Way too much because it's so incredibly pigmented. But before I just give up and dust it off, I'm just going to tap that onto my face. Do you see? I don't even need to do any work. And I don't even need to like fold the brush or hold it in any fancy way. It's just laying it down so beautifully with its corner. Now that it's less product, I can actually buff that into my skin. Look at that. Can you see my glow? Oh my goodness. This is literally the perfect travel brush. If you have somewhere to be and you don't have a lot of room in your bag for makeup, carry this one brush and it can sort you out for everything. I've actually kind of fallen in love with the lightest one up here. So they don't have names, so I can't really tell you which one it is. But I'm just going to go on my nose, and it's actually laid way too much product on my entire nose. So maybe be a bit more thoughtful with that, unlike what I was. But I'm just going to go at an angle and go down the bridge of my entire nose. And as long as you hold it at an angle, you are good. Because if I was going like this, I'd just be doing too much, you know. But if you hold it at an angle, because it's almost flat at the top, it actually works out really well. I think I'm going to go in with this color because I think it's the most neglected color in my palette. It's quite shiny, quite glittery, so... And these are also really pigmented, so you have to go in with a light hand. But I'm just picking it up with a corner, and I don't really keep track of what corners I'm using because I don't mind the products mixing. It just makes it look a bit more blended and a bit more natural, as opposed to like each product having its own specific place, you know? So now I'm just going in under my highlight and just laying down my blush. And it's doing such a good job because it's so wide that as you lay it down, it's just blending automatically. I am obsessed with this brush. I can't even tell you. If you do want to see a tutorial on this look with black lips as opposed to purple, I should have done it with purple lips. I'm kind of loving this. But yeah, if you want to see this is my anti-Valentine's Day look, then I will link it up here so you can watch it. But basically, this brush, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, I literally did a full face beat with this brush and I am loving it. I can't even tell you because it's just done such a good job. It's proven itself with creams. So if you are highlighting and contouring with the LA Pro Girl, I believe this will still work amazingly, you know. But if you're like me and you just want to take a shortcut and use powders, because I'm actually realizing powders are so much easier. Oh my gosh. But I love this brush. If you want to use that, definitely pick up this brush. It can handle it. It can handle powders, it can handle creams. It has proven it can handle like shadows, like pigments for the highlighter and for the blush. I think it's freaking amazing. I hope you can see enough. My face looks flawless. It's literally like I did it with a sponge. Amazing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video because it helps me out a lot. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, of course. And I guess I will see you in my next video.